Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here from Safi Financial Network. Today is July 25th, 2024. Here is another daily analysis. All right, so we had pretty interesting day. Market just had a very volatile session. It tries to defend SMA 50, and it was kind of like a successful, I should say, half away. If you just see the chart here, so we just got a very nice rally um, from the bottom, SMA 50, 5400, going all the way up to almost the 5500, like a 5494. Then market rejected nicely and to the downside. The reason is we just have a very nice technical level, which is this demand area. Previously worked out as like a dead cat bounce. It was not successful all the way up to here. So it's just going down. The same technical reaction to these levels that we got. This is a nice breakout to the downside. We just back test as a goodbye case going down. Today's session, it just happened the same. So this is kind of like middle of this wide range bar, breakthrough from important pivot. So when we just got a breakthrough, market just reacted very nicely, sharply to the upside. Sellers, they were waiting here. Why? Because there were lots of buy orders here before and turned to sell signal or sell order just because the stop loss haunted, right? So it's just going down, still there are lots of sellers. And those people who were buying in this level, they were saying, okay, here is the break even, market is in ugly shape, I'm gonna sell, or very small loss I'm gonna take. And that's why I just put lots of selling pressure on the S&P 500, lots of stocks going down as well. So right now, again, hourly chart, we just got a hammer, a very kind of like a tiny hammer. But if I go back to daily chart, let me just go back to the daily chart here. So daily chart, we got a very into interesting point. So here's the scenario. We just got 2023 October bottom here. This is kind of like an April bottom. If we just stretch this trend line, we receive here. So we're kind of like arrived to 5400, which is very important. And usually the third touch is going to be Pinocchio bar, which is going to be kind of like going down and then getting back up. So we can see some kind of like a breakthrough. It gives like a lots of people false signal that, hey, we just got into a breakthrough for the trend line, so market is going to go down or crash is going to happen tomorrow. But I believe that we are going to see kind of like a volatile session tomorrow as well. So the volatility is not finished yet. There are lots of kind of like a back and forth um, buyers and sellers to control. And right now, in a daily chart, we just got into very important level, very important level based on the trend line. For those ones who are trend follower, this is a very important level. For those ones who are like me, just looking at the weekly chart, still we are not there yet. So we may see some kind of like a bounce. Let me just zoom in here because I want to show you why I'm referring to the bounce. The bounce is we are pretty close to this important demand area. So this is kind of like a weekly demand area. Still, we can go down potentially to 5,300. Let's say another kind of like 100 level to the downside, then getting back to the upside as well. So this is kind of like the scenario that I'm looking for a weekly chart. But I think still for 2-3 days, we may see a bounce. I'm not surprised if we see a bounce. Potentially market can go down to 5,300, even 5,200 as a good kind of like a support for a first initial significant bottom for a weekly chart. But still, I'm just looking for kind of like a going through August, months of August, we can see some kind of like a lower high. And then October, September, we are just getting again to the bear custom going down to this level potentially to the election night, and we can go all the way down to even sub 5,000 levels. So if that happens, that's going to be kind of like a very neat scenario prior election. I believe that that's it for S&P 500. So to wrap up, we may see a bounce, but that bounce is going to be just a bounce, as I said. It's not going to be the end of the correction. NASDAQ. So NASDAQ is kind of like the uglier scenario. We are just getting into this wide range bar. Um, it tries to defend itself. NASDAQ was pretty nice actually defending itself, but getting back to the bearish momentum, um, I believe NASDAQ is pretty close to a bounce. For lots of stocks, we can see some kind of like a bounce to 19,460. Middle of this wide range bar, I believe that we are kind of like a due for a test. So if we get there, but possibly we are going to see another sharp sell-off after that. But right now, I should say NASDAQ is very, very oversold, stretched to the downside, and we may see a bounce for NASDAQ potentially next 2-3 days. Moving on to Dow, which was kind of like interesting today, just reacted nicely to this um, SMA 20. SMA 20 just reacted nicely. But however, we got into this supply zone and rejected nicely as well. So we may see kind of like a follow through tomorrow. If we see a follow through, I would say we can go all the way up to here, even to 41,000 again to test this area again. All right, moving on to gold, which kind of like a hammer today. Gold and precious metals overall going down. This is a typical pattern here, drop-based drop. If you're supply demand trader, you know what I'm talking about. Potentially it goes back down to here to a sub 2300. And right now we are kind of like see a bounce potentially. And this bounce is going to be just in a bigger picture that we are still going down for kind of like another sell-off to here, potentially going to here as well. So August, as I said, July, August is very, very important for gold based on my cycles. I was expecting this high. I was correct. And I was expecting this high is going to be a significant top for sell-off. Some people, they didn't like it. And they said, what's going to be the fundamental reason? I don't know what's going to be the fundamental reason, because fundamental reason is coming after the fact. And right now we are just getting down. Potentially the first support or kind of like a buyers are going to come back here in this demand area, but this demand tested a lot. So this demand tested once, twice, and the third time, and this time is going to be the fourth time, which is not ideal if you ask me. So potentially we are going to just stay getting through, and then with the formation of ending diagonal, we are going to get to 21 to 2200, which is potentially in August, as I said, September, we can get to that level, which is going to be a good buy, first level for a good buy. Moving on to silver, which is down today. So silver is very, very oversold. It didn't manage to higher high as I was expecting. It just managed to the lower high, and then getting back to the downside. This support didn't help. Just the 2-3 days hammer and fail yesterday and today, just to follow through to the downside. First time we just got into this important pivotal point demand area. So this is the important demand area. And that's why silver rejected this area nicely, bouncing back up. So $27. So if silver goes down and mimicking around here, I would say this is going to be a perfect zone for long-term buying opportunity for silver, as I'm expecting. If silver goes down, that would be kind of like a fantastic buying opportunity. Let me just zoom out here. You see that this is the area that I'm just looking for, and that's going to be a bigger picture bull trend. It's not going to have bad kind of like a crash or kind of like a tumbling signal for a silver. As you see here, we have a crash on silver, but ending up to higher high. Again, correction, kind of like a nice pattern, higher high, correction, higher high. Silver is get used to have spike and also sharp correction. So this area, 24 to 25, lots of demands are going to be here. So this is kind of like a broken level. This is the previous demand. As I said, the lots of buyers are going to come back here to buy silver. So 24 to 25, let's wait for that one, guys. Let's be patient. So don't rush into things. Just be patient. It's going to come to you, and don't chase up the price. Moving on to crude. Crude just the bottoming here. As I was expecting, this is the area that I was looking for. Middle of this wide range bar, fantastic reaction. So crude is just getting back to the upside and it can go higher. I believe crude is showing very nice signal to the upside, potentially 81 to $82 is gonna be the test. If we break through, then we are gonna go higher high to 86. If it doesn't, then we can get back to the downside. For the short term, I can say crude can get back to the upside, potentially middle of this wide range bar, which is going to be $81. So $81, mark it on your chart. Crude can get there. It's going to just give us like a $1.80 to the upside. Moving on to Bitcoin, individual names. Bitcoin just a hammer today. It goes down pretty close to my area that I was looking for. Still, there is going to be a chance to get there, but today price action was pretty neat. Ethereum goes down sharply. Um, Not sure why Ethereum doesn't follow Bitcoin. So that's interesting. It's just going down and then showing a kind of like a bounce here in this important pivotal point. This box is going to be important pivotal point. So Ethereum needs to show some kind of like a bullish momentum tomorrow. Bond yield, a very, very high dragonfly doji. So bond yield just breaking through to the downside, getting into this wide range bar. Lots of buyers are getting back to a dragonfly doji here. So we can see that it's kind of like an interesting scenario for bond yield, potentially higher prices coming. Treasury goes up as well, even after hours it goes higher. So Treasury just forming, I should say, it's not a bullish pattern, folks. So this is kind of like a scenario that I'm just looking for, ascending head and shoulder. If we can get there, if we break through, I should say Treasury can go down here again. Moving on to VIX. VIX spike up today, but going down. So I should say VIX is showing a top information here for me. So it goes here. Potentially, it's kind of like a coming with a market, like a stock market bottom. We are pretty close to the bottom, at least for a daily chart. So VIX is showing a very, very volatile session. It goes down, then coming back up, then forming a dragonfly doji at this wide range bar. Moving on to Dixie, 65, 6 cents stop. So Dixie forming a bullish consolidation. It can spike to 104, not a bad session. Magma indicator, another ugly session going down. So magma indicator goes down here. This means that lots of buyers can take control. This is the area that lots of buyers are sitting here. I don't know if it's gonna just be a bottom for this, but I should say it's gonna be a good pause. At least it can give a bounce to here before the sell-off, because I don't think the correction is over. I believe we are at the beginning of the correction. Apple, just $1.05 down today. Apple goes down to this important pivot. Amazon, 98 cents down. It's kind of like a pretty close to breaking through. If it breaks through, I should say Amazon can go down here to this area, 139 to 140. Meta going down as well, breaking this important pivot. It goes back down to here to this area after the gap fill. Meta goes to new all-time high, but fail. Microsoft at $2, actually $10 down. Microsoft is ugly today, 2.45% to the downside. Getting into this important trend line here. So look at that. So this is kind of like the Microsoft trend line. As you see here, we can see a bounce. Again, we can see a bounce and look at the pattern here. So this is kind of like the pattern that I'm looking for. And then we can get to the drop significantly here. Moving on to Google, sharp sell-off after hours took a hit more. Google, there's no kind of like a hope for reversal. It was kind of like a reverse in the middle session, but still sellers take control. I believe that 149 to 155 is going to be a good spot for Google. Netflix, $1.90 down. Tesla, after kind of like a positive session, Rejection came up, especially at top of this candle, 225. So Tesla is interesting because I'm gonna just put a video specifically for Tesla. We are just getting down uh, this pattern actually breaking down. So this is kind of like not a good pattern, if you just ask me. We have a breakout, then coming down, but still we can get to 193, 200, sub 200, as I said, for Tesla is coming. And it can be kind of like a valid for next week or kind of like a next few weeks. SMH, semiconductor index, getting into this important area. That's why we just got a rejection or bounce. Nice bottoming tail here. SOX a $5 down. It's just getting into this important trend line here. So Pinocchio bar, we need to see something from these names actually tomorrow. Even tomorrow is going to be kind of like a hope, just a small hope at the end of the tunnel. Taiwan Semiconductor, it just showed the reversal. This is kind of like the price action that I want to see from them. AMD just going down sharply. Um, it's in interesting level, but still it can go lower for a big buying opportunity, I should say. So AMD, just keeping in your radar, we may see some kind of like a bounce, but I should say AMD is getting into interesting level. NVIDIA, look at that. So the darling actually is not darling anymore. We just got a very, very volatile session. It's just going all the way up to this important 116, rejected nicely, going down, goodbye kiss. NVIDIA is not in a good shape. So we can go down potentially for NVIDIA to this area, but I know some people that don't like it, but NVIDIA can see kind of like a bounce or a strong bounce from 100 to $102. So this is the area that I'm looking for. 96 is very, very potential scenario for a gap fill to kind of like a completion of this correction. And still, NVIDIA is kind of like a question mark. It was hard sell today. We closed our put option. So we got into put option just 2 days ago. And yesterday it just gapped down. Today we sold it in 2 days trade. So congratulations to all subscribers. We just got it and a nice profit for us. We're looking for kind of like a buy, but we need to get some confirmation for this. Texas Instruments going down today, $1.13 down. Lam Research, $25 down. So Lam is in trouble right now because very soon it gets to this level. I believe that the demand area is coming 815 to 850. And also this area is going to be as well. Moving on to XLF, which is financials. They did great today. Um, Positive. So when market was in bloodbath, they did great. XLF 16 cents up, KBE $1.19 up, KRE $1.46 up, JP Morgan 8 cents up today, Doji Bar and Goldman Sachs $5.01 up. Not a bad session. Bank of America 51 cents down, and Wells Fargo 26 cents down up as well. So they are forming kind of like the top information, folks. So this type of like a candle here for Wells Fargo and the other names, if it goes down, it's gonna break through this area and it kind of going down as well to 51 to 52 for Wells Fargo, I believe. Moving on to the next sector, which is gold miners. They just slaughtered today. $1.04 down for GDX, GDXJ, $1.35 down. Huge gap here. I believe it can go lower. AEM $1.59 down. Still try to hold itself, but I should say the entire sector is weak. Right now, it is weak. Newmont $2 down. Kind of like a long ledge doji here. Franco Nevada tried to hold itself, but $1.46 down. Franco, this is a very, very strong resistance here for this. It can go lower for a great buying opportunity. Right now, it is down. Gold Barrick 4% down today, so it's just a sharply going down. I believe a $16 is coming for Gold Barrick within this wide range bar and this pivot. It's going to be a fantastic level for buy. Moving on to XLE, which is energy stocks. Energy Spider going higher today, $1.56 up. XOP still within this important or kind of like a frustrative bearish channel here. XOP needs to get above this previous pivot, which is less likely, I believe. OH, not a bad session at all. So 3% to the upside, great move, engulfing candle at the right gap. So it can go higher if it gets above this. I should say double top is going to be here. Exxon, the same pattern here. After hours took a hit, but good follow through after yesterday's session. Exxon, Chevron, the same pattern here. So it's just going higher. I believe Chevron has kind of like a more hard time than Exxon to pivot this area. So we need to get all the way up to pivot this area, engulfing to the upside if it wants to just show the bullishness. All right, I believe I covered everything, folks. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel. Tomorrow will be weekly edition for our weekly analysis. I'm going to cover all weekly candles as well. So we're going to see the bigger picture in our tomorrow analysis report. Have a fantastic day. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.